Today's goal is going to be narrow down the 829 jobs we have on from the BLS into the top and bottom 25%, and then look at those few hundred jobs and try to categorize them in such a way. So what I was thinking of doing is we're just gonna find a minimum excluding all occupations. Yeah, so basically, people like we know how quartiles work, right? This is just how quartiles work within our data set. It just divides it up into 25%, so into forts. So we would have our minimum to our left here, Q1, quartile 1 signifies a lower 25% of the data. And then you keep adding up quartile. So the second quartile or the median would be the 50% of the data. And we're taking the quartiles of the hourly mean wages of California. But we're gonna use this so as a cutoff. I know some of us have this experience with data. So if anyone can like think of a better way to do this, feel free to chime in. I'm just trying to find a way to narrow down our jobs. So this tells us the minimum wage or the minimum hourly mean wage would be $17.14. And the maximum from our data set would be $178.31 per hour. We can quickly sort this and see that yes, shampooers are indeed, they make the lowest hourly mean wage at 17.14. We see the shampooers are the 17.14 at the lowest. Eights or fours, you can go into our sheet where we actually got everything from. Go all the way bottom and we know anything in parentheses. Four means they don't work full time. And eight just means that it's unavailable data. So we don't have hourly mean wages for these groups. And then these just aren't full time. But we see that radiologists are the highest making workers at $178.31. But what we want to take away from this is here, this is what we really want to know. These are the cutoffs for us, the 25, so the first quartile and the third quartile. So in this case, we want to look at jobs that make less than $25 and not on let's say 9 cents. These would be like the lowest percent. We want to see the jobs that make more than $48. And these are the workers that make the highest 25%. So what we then wanna do, sorry, I'm trying to, does anyone know how to get rid of these filters? I guess it doesn't matter. So it's 2509. So we'll find the jobs closest to 2509. So you can say these are the lowest 25%. So it becomes like this. Everyone like follow up till now?
Yeah, sorry, did you talk about why the like some of the values didn't have hourly mean wage?
Oh yeah, you can check that here. Oh yeah, so this is how we're going to get our list of jobs to look at. So that's a total of 191 job titles for just the lowest 25%. And then we could look at the same amount for so our next thing would be to, I think I'm gonna ha separate us into two groups. And we're gonna, actually no, maybe not. But we're going to have to take a look at this list and figure out how we're going to like make a few job titles out of this. And I think this might be a good site to look at. It basically is just information on how they classified the standard occupational classification system. As you can see, the first two whole digits kind of are like the big, let's say like big branches of the job. So say you want to look at I don't know, personal care. If you look into that, it's anything 39 dash is considered personal care and service occupations, but each following the dash is what really starts kind of defining more into the job occupation of the overall personal care and service occupations. I just want to say we could take people could skim this to get a better understanding to how these codes work. It might just make reading things easier. Past that, we just want to come up with a few categories to put these jobs into. And this is kind of where our everyone comes together to discuss. But unless we have questions, which I'm very happy to take, I say we all take a look at what's available or what's in each of these categories in the lowest and highest 95%.
Is it possible if you could share the link of the BLS website you showed before?
Yeah, that's a great point. Any questions? All right. If not, I guess like we all take like 5 minutes or so to skim over these jobs to get an idea for what's there. So like for the first few times you read through this list, don't try to like force yourself to like create categories or think too hard on them. Just skim them to familiarize yourself with like what's here. And then you can kind of start thinking off of that.
So easy 25% and all that. But Jin, can you, so we did in the spreadsheets, there is origin, there is a reference. Yeah, so this is a 382 jobs in only California, right?
Oh yes.
Okay, so everybody knows what's the next, right, Jin? Or you want to just if you guys want, Jin can show through the share that one more time how he got all this number where and then how to get the 25 and the mean and everything. Do you need to do that? Do you want to see one more time what the why Jin show that how to figure how to get the oldest figure and all that, or we can move on? I think it's, to me, I totally understand, but it's like get a mean and a roll that it's kind of, yeah, just function, put it in there. That's looks so simple, but I forgot. So if I relearn that, I know what to do. And I think it's okay. Joya, you joined for the last, so you have to explain what you learn or what you understand.
Yeah, right now we're like looking through like the different occupation numbers and like trying to find like kind of like relationships among like the lower percent quartile and like the higher percent quartile, so we could like kind of shave down the numbers, if I'm
Okay,
not
so
wrong.
we did, right? What is that next move?
Not too sure. I was trying to read through the different like job like classifications on
Right.
the BLS website, trying to like find a way to like not have this data be like too different and like frenzied, I guess. So we could have like a clear comparison of like what we want to compare.
I really kind of amazed to see the lower 25%. All this job is that we are talking about, right? Shampoos and nail salons and all that, the food, cutters, and it was so amazed all the things we were talking about related with toxin materials or toxin elements, and then all there 25, right? I didn't know that this direct relationship. It's really amazed to find out. And then I didn't really go through all the heists yet, but obviously we'll have a link with that. It's like office job and white collar job and all this factory will be different. So what is next? We have the character, we have to analysis, right? By ages and
Before that, what we're trying to do, as Joel said, is since we have 191 jobs on each side,
mm,
we were hoping, at least our initial plan was to cut it down so that we're not looking at 191 jobs, so that we
right,
can group them into like
right. You got the
20,
point.
30.
What
I'm
do you
looking at it, it's pretty diverse.
So we are thinking about how to cut.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea that how we're gonna divide it or how we'll
I still no. I
yeah,
don't.
screen out?
And yeah, if you guys don't understand the job title, I suggest looking it up because there are a few I'm like, I have no idea what these people do.
For example, which one?
Like water extraction workers. I have no clue. And a quick Google tells me that they operate and maintain machinery used to extract natural resources like minerals,
Yeah,
oils,
yeah,
and
yeah.
gas.
Or
Like,
road, yeah, or mining.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I understand. That's
Oh, yeah,
I
I
understand.
didn't know that, but we should like if we come up against jobs we don't really know, we shouldn't skim over them. We should
Right,
still look them up.
right.
That's just a PSA to everyone.
Jean, instead of a 25%, of course it's a quotile. That's what you're trying to do. How about 10% or because we cannot take it whatever we want grouping because it's a 25 percentile. So it's like all in order. So if you get it shorter, a little bit range is small, then will be not 190, will be like what, 70 or 100.
Yeah, we
What do you
could do that too. I was actually thinking of we could shave down the list
Yeah,
already.
so what do you think, you guys? Because I was thinking about grouping, but that is not because that's a very random. It's not, will not be logical. And some of them is like lower down is really sprayer and farmers and very low and the toxins related job is down there. So we are
Well,
losing that if we have if we put the 10%, we are losing that kind of things. But can you do 15%?
probably I would need to look into that.
So I'm thinking out of 25, we can cut, let's say, let's take it all top 100 out of 25 percentile, right? Or we can just narrow down, let's see how many jobs will be come out based on 15 percentile or 10 percentile.
It's not hard. Here, let me tell you real quick, cause I can just run the where did everything
All right.
go?
I just have a small question. Should we like try to run through the thing? Because some of the jobs probably don't have like much like exposure at all. For example, there are like office workers and file clerks are on here, and they probably don't have like much like they probably aren't too important what we're looking at. So maybe we could like cut those out first and see how much it drops. I think
But we cannot delete randomly because do you remember that yesterday my understanding of Dr. No's idea is that we cannot randomly delete because of it's more related with toxic materials because it has to be we have to do all if it is like a reasoning or logical like a 25 percentile and 10 percentile we can do that, but we cannot randomly advocated that has to be like logical or calculation behind that. This is a science research.
What really is saying is why don't we designate these jobs as office jobs first and see what's left out of the 191? That way we're dealing with the more relevant, more like, but the jobs that we don't need, like office jobs are easier to differentiate. And I think what really is saying is why don't we get rid of the ones that are already easier to differentiate, get them out of the way, and we'll look at what's left and go from there to make categories.
Yeah, but I understand what Willie said, but is it valid? Is it logical that this is 135? We were gonna say we take a top 100 out of 195, 25 percentile, or we randomly because we think is like a very weak link and then delete all the office job.
But we're not, I mean, if they're office jobs, we're gonna put them as office jobs. Like if we want office jobs to be a category.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm not fully understanding.
I feel like if we have like a really strong reasoning behind like why we're like taking out like office jobs, then I think it'll be fine.
I was kind of like looking through to see like which jobs appear the most out of the lower and higher percentiles. I think I should probably look up an equation to find that out on Google Sheets because it's taking too long by hand.
But
Yeah,
what
yeah.
are you trying to do? Sorry.
Yeah,
Can you show us what you're doing?
not really. It's kind of on paper, but like
Uh-huh.
I was like looking through like all the jobs by like category, like shampooers is like 39, which is a personal care
Oh, you're
service
trying
occupation, and
to.
I'm trying to figure out like which jobs show up the most, kind of like similar to like the heat map thing
Hmm.
Megan was talking about.
Right. Why don't we do that? What Willie said. Let's see that how many jobs will be, yeah, will be there.
Wait, Willie, do you wanna, was that what we're talking about, how like designate them into office jobs first? And then parse through everything else? Is that what you meant, or?
Yeah, I think we should, or at least I think that it's pretty good if we like try to separate the jobs from like office and then everything else. And then I had like a second idea of like maybe we could look into like job requirements, like what like do they need a degree or not? Because I think like in America, there's only like 40% of people who like have a bachelor's degree. And if we look at jobs like radiologists, like nuclear and industrial engineers, they're probably going to need like maybe like at minimum a bachelor's or maybe like even a master's. And so that could like maybe like change like how we weigh which jobs or like wage like view jobs and they're like relative. Well, we look at the job's exposure relative to like how like I guess like abundant the job is. I'm not too sure about.
Do we need to do both? 25 percentile, the lowest one, and the 25, highest one? I was thinking, I thought we were gonna do only lowest one.
I thought the top 25% we could use to compare to say, oh, look, we can say from our data for sure if this happens, there are certain chemicals or product categories which um that are just more overused in the lower income. But we can't say that if there isn't something to compare it to.
Oh, okay. That's a comparison.
But at this point, since we're just doing like a pilot run, we don't really need the top 25%.
Right, because it's really hard to define radiologist to what kind of toxin. Yeah, let's focus the lowest one right now.
Okay, I think that's fair.
So can we go over to what kind of job we're gonna delete?
Oh, you still want to make it into like the lowest 15%?
No, like Willie said, just delete. We'll see how many jobs is there. The delete role this office job.
We could, but oh yeah, we could look at it, but I think I saw most office jobs on the right side. But I could be wrong, so we could take a look as you said.
We can change the color or something. How about ushers, the lobby attendants and the ticket taker?
Before we start here, let me share my screen so we're all just looking at the same place.
Yeah, let's do that. That's better.
Instead of just assuming we are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do you think about ushers, lobby attendants, or ticket master, ticket taker?
Where is no?
Yeah. Okay, let's do one by one. Okay, home health.
Wait, Daisy, how can we justify just deleting these things based on our judgment?
Yeah, that's what I kind of initially think, but it's something is obvious, so that's why.
They're part of entertainment attendants or related workers.
No, go down and the 39. No, ushers is what I'm talking about. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, they're part of this overall of 39,300. We could say they're service workers.
Yeah, motion picture, amusement park. Yeah, something like that. Do you think it's?
So we have, oh my goodness, wait, how do we want to do this? I personally just want to write these down by hand but I don't think, right? So we want to have service providers, and that includes ushers, right? Like before we actually went through like one by one, I kind of wanted us to come together and speak like, oh, I think it'd be nice if you had personal care, industrial, or like we could maybe someone wanted, we want to be more specific. Like we don't want just agriculture because agriculture could take a lot of things. So I was hoping we could come like with ideas on creating categories for jobs before we started. Am I not making sense? I was hoping we could all just come and kind of chip in. Oh, I feel like this is something a category like I don't know, personal care. Or we could be more specific and be like automobile. I don't know. And but we could all come together and be like, oh, I think we could put enough jobs into a certain category we're thinking of
Mhm.
before we go through one by one.
Okay, great. Yeah. But what is the home health care one? What do you think, you guys? Second one. Do you know, you guys, what is a home health personal care is?
I would say maybe like towards medical. We can group that as into like medical jobs or something like that.
Is it like a senior care or something?
Home health is people that aid, like they're like nurses in a sense. They'll come to your like typically like elderly people's homes and
Yeah.
give
So,
care to them in person.
so it's a senior care.
Oh, this might be on my site.
Okay, let's move on. Yeah, if you don't, what do you think, Jin?
Or do I want to put home? I we could put healthcare assistance.
Yeah, but if we're gonna take it out, or
My understanding is we're not taking any of these out. We're not eliminating, we're not deleting them. We're just trying to designate them into different, like, into broader job titles.
I see. So we're gonna regroup.
But yeah, basically, we want to regroup these jobs into
But when
smaller.
when we regroup, it will be okay to characterize that workers. Is that okay? We're not gonna have any problem.
All right, like problems and bias.
No problems with finding the characteristic. For example, like we're gonna sort it out ages, education level, just for example. No,
Oh,
we'll be fine. We're not gonna finding the usher, we're gonna finding the service provider all together. Right? So we don't have any problem because we have to think about it next step. It will be good, or it will be okay, or it will be really bad. So that's what we have to thinking about.
if we make note of which jobs go into whatever category we define them into, it
Mm,
wouldn't be a problem.
I see. Because we have a standard occupational classification system. So if it is a sub field of that we're gonna have.
Yeah, no, this is definitely something we need to really like put some thought into. We can't just dish out, oh, I think we can just put them into this, and this
Right. So yeah,
categories.
the bias issues too.
I think this is why Dr. Knott mentioned having a committee.
Right. And then that's what I said, because we cannot do that subjectively or our will to do that. We have to have a system behind it or something the logical that committee or decide or something. So Will, what's your second thoughts? Will, can you explain? You say you have a second idea?
Oh, I don't know how important that would be right now, but I was thinking like we could maybe look at like job requirements. So like some jobs might require a degree
Mm-mm.
and others might not. And so that we can maybe use that to help like I don't really know how effective it is now that like yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I got it. But we'll find a way if it is feasible, we'll find a way. But that's more like highest 25 percentile, right? Yeah, because we are focusing in the lowest one, so it's not that much relevant right now. Okay, thank you. Because sometimes that I don't, I kind of Would like to have some you guys as confirmation because my understanding might be different, so that's why. Jin, is it really hard that let's have a pilot run through today is like lowest 100 lowest 25 percentile, that 190 something. Is it really hard to sort it out in the spreadsheets?
What do you mean sort it out?
Yeah, because we were gonna do age. We were gonna have put that age. It's more define the characteristic workers. Because I would like to run that by Dr. Nurse about this method. We spend it all the time, and it's a little bit not valid. Then it's waste
So you
time.
want to bypass the whole trying to resort the jobs.
Right. So 195 right now is 25 percentile, or let's run through it then 15% percentile. Which one? It's how many?
Right, I asked earlier, but you said no.
No. I mean, this is a research. We would like to see that how does it work? We have to
So
try, otherwise we don't know.
2241. 2241 will make it so we have, sorry, did I say 2241? Yeah,
I didn't hear first one. I hear only 41.
that is still 117, 116-ish, 15th percentile.
Right.
That is $20 per. Okay, $20 per hour wage translates to an annual salary of $41,600. Maybe there's a. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, 2024, California, the lowest wage is 16, but at the same year, the DC is a 17 and a half or something. All the state is a different wage, minimum wage. So this year, minimum wage was 16 in California.
This is just for May 2024, I think.
Yeah, 2024. Yeah. How about 10%? It's too little. What do you think? It's not gonna extensive to represent,
It's just $1 difference.
right?
So that would give us, we're scrolling. What was it, 21,
21.
23?
Yeah, 21.
What was it? What does that number say? 77. So this would mark the.
I think it's 15 is more reasonable because 77 is a cut down a lot of the main industry. It's most vulnerable one. What do you think? We have to decide, guys. We have to move on.
So if we go 10th percentile, that's what, 77 out of 191. That means we keep 40%.
Would like starting with a smaller number and potentially expanding later be an option?
Yes.
Because I do think like 200 plus is a little bit overwhelming.
Oh yeah, and we're not doing the highest 25% yet.
Yeah.
We're just gonna leave that off to the side. Oh yeah, no, we were just people, we gotta speak up, but do we wanna do 77 jobs for now or 116 jobs for now? It's up to us. And then from there we'll go back to trying to resort it. But yeah, that's again where we are at. I think because we're just doing basically a test run to show Dr. Nod like on Monday, this is what we want to do, and this is like roughly how we're gonna do it. 77 doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I think the more like viable or like doable option is 77 to get to like have a starting base.
Yeah, like the only concern I personally had was the jobs we resort them into. The more we introduce other jobs, there's a greater likely that's gonna have to change. But like I say we deal with that when we get to that bridge. And for now, we just stick to what's doable right now.
Yeah, let's do the 77 and then move on, and then we're gonna consult with Dr. Nas what she said. If she said it's like, oh, we have to do, because there are several good one like dry cleaners, the meat packers, not meat packer, meat trimmers, like what we're talking about a lot down there. But we'll see. Let's do the 77 job first, and then we'll see.
Yeah, but if we, yeah, okay, I'm done. That means we are gonna look at like 10%-ish of
Yeah,
all
so do you
jobs.
guys agree?
Or do you mean huge one, like
Huge toxin exposed.
landscaping?
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Gardening.
landscape?
Yeah, down there it's a
Yeah.
15%. I'm just looking up the between the 10 percentile and the 15 percentile. Which one is more?
I mean, again, this is just a test run, so we can
Right.
always
Yeah,
just-
let's do the test run first. Yep. And the bobbers. So that's what, because bobber is a 15 percentile, so 116. Yep.
There's just so many jobs too. I'm just like, I have no idea what these do, what these jobs mean.
Wait, I kind of have a quick question. I don't know if I missed it, but how broad do we want these job categories to be?
That is the fun part where we figure it out. Like, we don't want, I don't know, I don't think we want just 2 or 3 categories to sort them into, but we also don't want like 20 or like we don't want like 30 job categories either.
What are you doing, Jin?
Trying to resort the jobs into groups. Are
Do
we
need
looking
it?
at 77 differently? Are we going to like, because what's after this technically? After we sort them into groups is assigning product categories. That means if we don't sort them into groups, even if we do 10th percentile, we have to assign product categories to 77 jobs, which I guess given the amount of people we have, that might not be a problem. I also think, alright, I'm seeing 2 ways right now. We can bypass resorting them because it seems like we just lack the background knowledge to be able to have much of a say. So we just bypass it. That's one way we could do this. The other way is we can just sort them according to the first whole number. Or we can just don't do the sorting and just, yeah, take roughly 10-ish, 8-ish jobs each and assign product categories to them. Which what I mean by doing assigning product categories, I mean we're going to be doing what we did over here. So thoughts? Uh, we can either bypass the whole sorting and we can just start assigning product categories to the 77 jobs, or we could just sort them into according to the first whole number in the SOC.
I think at least sorting them into like at least fairly broad categories would maybe be a good idea.
Mhm.
Because some of them definitely look like they could be grouped together.
Yeah, no. I
Kind of like food
honestly,
related stuff or like um just stuff that could at least like intuitively really be together, I guess.
yeah. Right, okay, sorry. But I would that was the initial plan, but we are having trouble just what categories we start with, you know? I also don't really have an idea of like where is that at one paper we're asked to read. But like so like does anyone have any opinions?
I'm just pulling out that the figure and table. Do you remember university, this what Washington, that what they did? So I'm just looking at, and then I just open up, and then I'm looking at that full data right now, how they did it. Then we'll have a better idea.
Oh, they categorize
They didn't do fully. They didn't. They do. They do have detail categorized, and then they have a different one. Can I share my screen to show?
Yes, please. Sorry, I wasn't even sure. I didn't even know I was sharing.
So look at this. So they did. So this is the one they did. They didn't do grouping 100%. under the big umbrella. They did like facility manager, construction manager, farmer's ranch. So I don't think they do grouping, all the individual job. What do you think, you guys?
Well, they never went to group the jobs. They grouped the exposures, I think. Cause that is from, is that was showing you? The paper I was
select
reading
occupation.
it.
Yeah, occupation. So this one is a one select expose. So I'm took. Everybody has this data. If you click there, that was it. I'm gonna just put it in again. This is data explorer. This is explore by occupational things. Additional people.
So you're saying since they didn't do it, you also don't want to group them.
I didn't say I don't want to, but we are explorer. So I'm just checking.
All right. Well,
Can you go? You guys said I just put it in that screen, chat. Can you go?
I also don't think it would hurt to take a minute and check up on where everyone feels like they
Right.
are.
Yeah, go ahead. And then can we have a bathroom break or a water break or whatever?
Yeah, then how about before we go? I feel like I've lost I feel like we've lost the group somewhere. Might be in different places or in a similar spot, but like how do we feel, guys? Like or like where are we lost? Or are there just no thoughts to speak?
I think I'm following so far.
All right. How
Uh,
about mhm.
Currently, I think we should be following the categorization the BLS gave with like the SOC system. Because like it's already given to us like how it should be classified. But I don't know if that would like help us change anything.
Any other questions? Anyone else confused? All right, then let me ask this. So it sounds like we have a general idea of how the SOC works, but we also understand this problem we're running into where there's just too many jobs for us to look into in an efficient time. So as a group, do we want to just run headlong brute force of 77 jobs? Or I feel like we could just follow the SOC categorizations. And when I say that, there's two ways we can take the SOC categorizations, right? We can just group them into a big umbrella of 11s, 19s, or whatever. Or we can look into, say, where was that? We can go further and say we categorize them into a subcategory within the whole numbers. So by the thousands. How do we feel? Either we just sort by a huge umbrella of just the whole numbers in the front, or we can also further categorize them into having the thousands. But we won't go as in depth as into the tens and the ones.
I feel like with our 77 jobs currently, that the bigger general first two numbered classification would be better. Because I feel like that going to thousands might like result in a lot of one-off categories.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think the big umbrella is fine, especially if we're only using 77 jobs.
All right. Amazing. Okay. So then what we'll do when we're back, we'll take a bathroom break and a water break until like 8:35. And once we're back, how about we'll sort each other out into like the one of those big umbrellas and we'll go through the 77 and just do that real quick. That marks 10.
Like, I was wondering, like, how many groups that we wanted, because like I was looking at the numbers and like where some numbers they had like over like 10, I think, and like while some have like only 2 or 3. So like I just kind of thought that like that maybe like for those that has like more jobs, maybe we could go to thousands, while like other jobs we could just do the full number.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, and we can further distinguish them after we identify those that have more than 10. Because we don't, because depending on what our list says and how it comes out, we can choose to like further divide a group that has like a bunch of jobs within it. Yeah, does it sound?
I like kind of worked through that during like the break.
Oh, you already
Is it
did this during the break?
yeah, like is it okay to like paste this somewhere?
I mean, I just created this here to put next to it like the jobs. But you can paste it if that's not the format you use, you can paste it to the right of the highest 25% of. And I'm actually gonna get rid of this because this is very easily bring back. So all right, so it looks this looks good, but I have one concern. I don't know if it's a valid concern, but we're not gonna be calling the group 35, right? We're gonna be calling group like say group 35 is food preparation and serving related occupations. So 30 let me see how the and I'm assuming these are all just like of what was here. I think if we can brainstorm a way to rename these groups accordingly, respectively, I think this would be good. And was this for only the top 10? I mean the bottom 10 percentile?
Yeah, it was the bottom 10.
So the 77 jobs. Alright, thanks a lot. Okay, now this has me questioning. We might have to go remove. Alright, so the way now that I'm thinking about this, now that we're like actually here, 35 and 4 zeros, the overall minimum hourly wage for this, right? But we're taking a further step in and saying, given what Sophia was able to do here, 35.2 include, which means this is included when they calculate the mean hourly wage for this. I don't, is that a problem? Is that not a problem? I don't,
Sorry, could you say that again? I didn't fully comprehend.
no, I was a little scattered. So we have separate groups for 35.2, but 35.2 is part of the calculation. It's part of the data they use to calculate 35 0 because this is the overlapping umbrella, right? That's the overarching one. So technically, whatever the mean hourly wage was for 35 flat was including 35.2 and so on. And I see like we just assume that we combine these. So I also like, I mean, maybe we could just ask Dr. Nas, but would this be a problem? Would this not? Because if we do want to go into the thousands, what I'm thinking is we have to further go into the data that we got off BLS and get rid of anything that's 35 flat or whole number flat. Does that kind of make sense? Or am I not? Am I overthinking this?
Can we do that? Can we do further that we will know?
Yeah, no, we can. What I can do is we can get rid of all these, and that means we can, when we're using SOC codes to category resort them, we'll just look at up to the thousands. So basically what that means is here, what we would do is we would get rid of these and then just have them as 35.3, which would be food and beverage serving workers.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Wait, so you're saying that you're gonna, instead of like combining the jobs into a bigger category, you're gonna combine the jobs into like we're gonna use the category name as the job. Does that make sense? Am I
So
misinterpreting it?
no, honestly,
Could you just explain it one more time for me?
yeah, yeah. Um, So anything like that's just flat 31, like even here, you say we look at 31, group 31. Sure, but the only thing that's flat 31 is the overarching title, which we see 31, 31 here. So 31.1, 31.2, 31.9 are averaged together to get the value we see in this right here. So whatever this, let me see if I can find it. 31,000 here. This mean hourly wage is the average of all those sub 35 groups. So what I'm saying is because if we go down and say we're gonna cut the resorting into groups at the 1,000, so 31,000 and 31 point, so like 31.1, 0.2, 0.9, we would have to go back and get rid of these 31 flats. And then that would allow us to have all our groups to be not group 31, but these would have to go into the smaller ones. You see what I mean? But also, if we do that, there also comes another problem where 31.1 will only have one for that group compared to 31.2, which has two, and 31.9, which also ends up having one. So, yay, we made progress, but there's also some hurdles in the way, which is to be expected, but still, it can be a little stubborn, constantly seeing these hurdles. So, I think that's what we'll have to do. Unless we really don't like the idea of having groups with just one, like 31.1, which 31.1 would be, but like, so it becomes just an opinion. Do we want to just group them all into like the thousands?
I
Maybe
think
not.
that's our, yeah, that whatever we want, we can go. So we have to decide. Isn't that like right and wrong, and there is a pro and con?
Right, right. I mean, I'm not going to lie, looking at a lot of these, some of the thousands only do have like two or one. Well, okay, maybe I like, but like some do only have two, and the chances of us having just like both or one is like slim. But like, I don't think it should matter at this point. I think I'm gravitating more towards let's just get rid of all the anything with 0, 0, 0, 0s, and then we can regroup it all.
Do you think that? I think that makes sense.
Right? Okay. And before we totally agree, like, does that make sense for everyone? Why that would like, okay, this time can we just do thumbs ups because I really can't see cameras. Willie, you're good too. Sophia, you're good. Alice, you're okay with this? Yay, we have a consensus. So what I'll do real quick. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 23. That means out of 23 or 829. So can't do math. 829. So 806. 806. All right, we got them all. Is anyone familiar with functions in a spreadsheet? So the problem with spreadsheets percentile is it interpolates between values. You know, it's okay. We'll bring this up with Dr. Dot. Right, so here we removed, but regardless, we're just going to look at the 21.27. So, okay, now these are going to be the ones we're working with. So if we can, again, I guess we could just double check. What in the world? So that means we're working with 76. I'm just gonna double check. All right, no, I'm stupid. Sorry. We're fine. So we're gonna take this here and then do what Sophia did and sort them into groups. And then once we do that, we can assign groups to everyone and we can look over the weekend, do what we did with Theory and assign product categories and get emission data. Sounds okay. Sorry, we're gonna go a little over time. The fastest way to do this is where's our cutoff? Cutoff at shuttle drivers. Cutoff at shuttle drivers. So that means we just added 2 more, which means everything in this thing can stay. And we can just add these 2 into their respective. So that's 35.2. Did we already do this? Wait, were these already a part of?
I like added and then
Okay, you did it. I'm
changed it.
not tripping. Okay. All right. So then, oh wow. Okay, we're still gonna have a decent amount. We just have to divvy them up, and I'm gonna assume we have no questions doing this. And for this, I'll just make another sheet, and then we'll just start doing this, if that makes sense. So all we have to do is divvy these up. So we're gonna roughly take 9 each. And it's once we like, cause they're obviously gonna be grouped by similar occupations. Once you do like a certain group, it shouldn't be too hard to do the rest. All right, so what we're gonna do is for each job title, we're gonna go to this TPD and put it in. Or actually, you could just put the name in. I don't really know. But yeah, so we're just gonna do what we did before. We're gonna put them in here. If you don't know like what someone does, I'll link this here. Google it. I don't care if you Google it or look at this site, but do have like a decent or like somewhat of an understanding of what your job title is that you're trying to put product categories in for. Yeah, I would say, because this can be really tedious and this is still the dummy run, don't do all the numbers. Just put the chemicals in. How's that? And honestly, how do you guys feel about starting to create like a list? So like, so if you look at this, there's like all these, right? So for shaving gels, there's whatever this chemical is. Why don't we start, I'll put all these in here. I'll call something called legend for us. So that, and then just whenever you hit the product category. But for shaving gels, like blah blah, and I'll have I'll have the complete list of this in by tonight, so that we don't have to keep looking at this thing every time we want to look at whatever product category. Just put it in here. It might be a little tedious at first. So for shaving gels, just put in whatever. What is this? So for
That's actually really helpful.
yeah, that way we just help each other out and we don't have to
I
keep doing
kept
that.
getting lost in the thing.
Right? Yeah, no. So if we can slowly fill this in while we're doing our own product categories, it'll be a tremendous help overall moving forwards. And I'll have this list all I'll have all of these out here by tonight. So yeah, don't worry too much about the actual numbers. Put in the chemicals for now. I think that should be good. Leave space for this, for the emission values, but don't put them in. Just keep the space, but you don't have to fill it in. There's that. What else you want to show Dr. Knots on Monday? Yeah, there's that. Okay, I think that's it for now. And then on Monday, once we have all of that in, I'll definitely ask Dr. Knot about if we really have to do the numbers right now while it's a dummy run. And on Monday, once we get here, I'll probably have us look into demographics of our job titles before we actually go disappear. Everyone's good. Everyone knows what to do. And if you have any questions, let me know over the weekend. All right. Thanks, guys. I think we're good.